Hi guys, welcome back to Sea Reefer. It's been a week or so since I've done my first 2 videos, so I thought I'd give you an update as to what's gone on in that time. I have a few things to add and I've had a few issues along the way, so I will give you an update as to what's gone on. First thing to note, my MP10 came in the mail all the way from the US. So I've installed it on the side. And the aquascape, I did like the aquascape when without the water, but I think now the water's in, it's give it an extra sort of dynamic, if you like. I still like it. The reason why the tank isn't full is because about 3 days ago I started to fill up the tank to cycle, and like schoolboy error, I started filling the tank completely from the main display. When it started to get to the point of where the water level trickles into the back area, don't know if you can see that very well, that's sort of the piping area, as the water trickled up into there, as you can imagine, this was already full to about, I don't know, whatever it is, 105 litres or however much the display holds. As the water started to trickle into the back, water began to pour from the back on the plumbing fittings. I've got a light to show you, illuminate the display at the sub area a bit more. Hope that works. There we go. At the back, as you can see, I've had to put some PTFE tape, the white tape, or Teflon tape as it's also known, there, and there. On all 3 areas, water was cascading through those points. I must not have tightened it enough. I did buy the tank used, and it was sat empty for several months, and so the seals must have dried, the rings must have dried out, and so as I filled it up for the first time, I wanted to take a video of what it was doing just to document this, but I couldn't. It was panic stations, there was towels everywhere, it was cascading down, it was not also pouring to the sump, it was going at the back there, it was pouring down behind, and so it was like a river flowing out of here all over to the wood floor. It was going all that, excuse the mess, that's what I've been doing lately, that's from my fish box. Water was pouring, it pooled around here, and thought, I didn't have time to take photos or videos, I just needed to sort it. So what I had to do is those 3, the return, the emergency and the drain, I had to take those out, the unscrew at the back and the lift out. What I had to do is take those out. There's 3 bulkheads at the back. One there, and one there right at the top. I thought it was a generic bulkhead, like a nut that just screws on. But that wasn't the case, it was fitted on permanently by Red Sea, and I wasn't aware of that. The purpose of those being fitted permanently is that so you don't touch them. You just screw, the pipes that are in the back that I showed you, you just screw those down, and screw and screw and screw and screw, and they tighten to them bulkhead nuts, which are already fixed. I didn't know that, I took them off. So I've had to re-silicone above the Teflon tape. I don't know if you can see. Wait till it focuses a bit. Oh, you can't really see. So I had to re-silicone those 3 as well as Teflon tape. I've re-tightened the 3 pipes as tight as possible. I left it for a day, and I thought that'd be it. I thought it'd be sorted. So I started to fill up yesterday again, and no, the leak still wasn't sorted. These started leaking again. That one, and that one. All of them. So basically everywhere possible that could leak did. So again, I've had to do the same. I unscrewed them. You might be able to see more on these ones. They're full of reef safe silicone, both top and bottom, to stop any potential leaks. And today I've come down, I woke up and I thought I'd give it a quick test, and it works. Thankfully there is no leaks, so tonight I'll be adding the additional water into the top of the display to get it flowing down into the sump area. There is some water in the sump area because when I started filling the top display, some of the water started coming down here, and as well as it pouring through, some did make it into the sump, so my marine pure balls have been covered. So I need to keep those submerged now that we're wet. So for the sake of the day, there's some water in the back column section, and there's some in this display here. Because I've got the top wet, I've had to add a heater, just an additional heater, because the one in the sump is all neatly wired and all the wires are contained. So I've just got a spare wire and ran it to the local plug outlet. So at the moment, technically, the top half is beginning to cycle. I'll be pleased when it's all full up and running and I can test it fully. But the piping that I did, all the hard piping, has worked really well. There were no leaks on there. And what also I've done since my first video is I've put some additional piping into the sump intake. Normally from Red Sea, at this point where it tees down, it goes directly straight down. But because I wanted a filter sock, I fitted a filter sock holder, this bit at the back stuck out too much, so I needed to bend this out slightly. Hope you can see that. There's a 45-degree bend there, and so it sticks out and allows me to drain. This is slightly submerged under the water to stop any splashes. That's a better view. So once we're all up and running, it should be nice and silent. That comes down and trickles into there nicely. That can be easily removed and replaced or cleaned when necessary. Water will spill into there, my refugium area, and then trickle through into the return. So I'm quite pleased my plumbing hasn't leaked. It was just a shame about those 6 areas at the top. It's one of those things that I didn't really acknowledge the fact that seals may have dried out or the O-rings may have dried out, but I learned quickly. There is water, if I didn't show you before, there is water in there because it's quite hard to drain once it's filled up. So it is holding water, which is good. And it's just, I tested it this morning, I poured some water down there, and yeah, those 6 areas are holding. I've mounted my MP10 controller in that area that I said I would do. So I'll step back. It's looking quite, although there's wires everywhere, it's reasonably neat for the size of the tank. All my controls are at one side. What also has come is this from Red Sea. It is the DIY cover, which will go over the top. So I'll be making that up within the next week or so. And what also I've got going in the little fish area, because I didn't make enough salt water, again foolishly. So as I explained in my sump video, my saltwater video, this is now making some more salt water. That device I showed you before sat on top, and it's filled up, and it's filled up to, so you can splash, see, it's filled up to the top, and that is my Jabo wave maker. That just sits in there, clipped onto the side, and then there's a heating power supply there, runs for a heater. And so currently the water is being circulated and heated, and what I can do, I can do this one-handed. What I explained before, how easy this is. Literally, because the opening is so wide. Scoopful. I don't know if you can see this. It's quite powerful, the wave maker, so it's just spinning, the water's nice and cloudy, so it's being mixed and heated. Let's put the lid on there to trap any condensation. Obviously I do more than that, but just for the purposes of this video. Yeah, just leave it to mix. So we should be good to go. I've got a pump, put the pump in, I've got some long tubing. I can plug it in and just run the tube, like I said before, all the way into the sump area. So hopefully next time I'll be fully up and running. My cover will be on, it'll be cycling nicely. I'll let you know the results if that's something you're interested in. Yeah, I'm just keen to get going now. The tank's been sat here for several weeks, just staring at me empty, so now I've got 2/3 full. I'm looking forward to just getting fully cycled. So guys, if you've got any comments to add, put them in the comments area down below. Thanks again for watching, bye.